Las Ciancórla. Minister, I welcome the opportunity to speak on the finance bill here before us tonight. And I know that it provides for the further extension of 6 agri-relief taxes that are currently due to expire on the 30th of June 2023. And that extension is certainly welcome. In the brief time that I have here, I just want to focus on 2 sections of this particular bill. The first section is Section 2. It provides for amendments to the rates of mineral oil tax, MOT, and for the extension to the current VAT prior to an incremental restoration of the full rates to the 31st of October. A recent parliamentary question that I submitted revealed that in the full year from the restoration of the full rates of tax, government will take in a staggering 700 million in excise duty and tax. In this scenario, the government-backed increases will yield 478 million with respect to diesel and an additional yield of 35 million in VAT. The yield for petrol is estimated to amount to 159 million, with VAT bringing in an additional 35 million. These figures reflect the enormous tax burden that is coming down the tracks for farmers, drivers, hauliers, transport operators, and indeed school bus providers and many, many others. It is unconscionable that this is set to take place at a time when other energy costs are fracturing the capacity of businesses and households to stay afloat. And I do see in my own constituency of Laois Offaly that every day of the week nearly businesses are closing their doors. They need urgently more supports, and unfortunately we did lose one great family business in Bar recently, Millen Foods, and it was disappointing to see that businesses like Millen Foods didn't get enough supports from government to keep them afloat and indeed to keep them in our towns. The second part of the bill that I want to focus on relates to Section 1 provision for an extension of the Young Trained Farmer stock relief. While this is certainly welcome, it can only be seen as one angle of support to address the ongoing crisis relating to generational renewal. Mochra na Firma recently pointed out to a Farmers' Journal survey which found that 46% of farmers surveyed had not identified a successor. That is a profoundly alarming finding, and it indicates to us clearly that the scale of the challenges before us are not going to be addressed by tinkering with a tax system of reliefs, necessary and welcome as they are. Irish farming will face a serious crisis, and yet again another crisis, in the coming years if the issue of generational renewal is not addressed and taken seriously and tackled with the urgency that it demands. And it should be tackled with the same urgency as green policy, because green policy is driving our farmers off the land and it is putting off many young farmers from being a successor. So the green policies, they're like green medicine being forced down our throats and indeed the throats of farming families.